Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've just checked that the mic is switched on and it is, and I'm here. We've had a great weekend of football. If you're not an Everton fan, it's been a great weekend of football. Or maybe if you're a West Ham fan, it's not been great either, or a couple of other teams. But there's lots to go through. I've got some notes. I can see I'm pausing again. Haaland and Salah blank as always. What's going on? Took my computer to my brother's, hope he's not watching it, to try and improve it, and it seems to be even worse. I've even tried defragging it and stuff today. We'll see how it goes. Let me know if it gets too dodgy, and yeah, we'll see if we can reset it or whatever. But number of things to go through this evening. Firstly is my team, so I'm going to look at my team performance. I'm going to go through every single Premier League game briefly, and have a quick discussion on sort of like the standout players. Like I say, I've got notes on every single team here. Some of them just say avoid, don't worry about it. What else are we going to have a look at? We're going to have a look at the league so far, see where league standings are up to. What else did I put on my list? I've just tweeted about it just now. Yeah, I'm going to update my watch list, and we'll do that together. I'm jumping all over the place, aren't I? I don't know why. I do apologise for that. I'll have another look at it after this, and then team of the week, and we'll see which players have been performing, and then yeah, like I said, we'll update the watch list and any sort of like updates from you guys in terms of what you've been watching for the football. Interested hear what you think about Mitrovic moving forward. Monkey, will Pereira be on penalties now? Anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. But should we start from the top? Every Premier League match discussed, and sort of who we think has been doing well. No, let's start with my team. Let's start with my team performance so far. Go on then. That's quite straightforward. So I went into the week and I played the triple captain on Erling Haaland. Hasn't worked out too well so far, but we are only halfway through, and I'm expecting a big response from Pep Guardiola's team. Guardiola's team this game week up against Spurs, who actually don't look very good either, do they, to be honest, at this moment in time. They improved in the second half against Arsenal, but they were at home. You were expecting a little bit more, possibly. Those of us who brought Harry Kane in were certainly hoping for it. But Arsenal, for me, look like this year's league winners. If they get past City twice, or just one of those games, I suppose. If they win one, lose one against City, I can't see the outcome this season, to be honest. And so far, it looks deserved. Streets ahead of everybody else in the way that they're playing. I'm thinking Pep tinkered a little bit too much. So, great start for me. Kepa, 10 points. Very happy with that. In goal, he's had a good couple of since game week 17. Started off with a good return, 9 points in game week 17. Then he had a few dodgy weeks, and to be honest, I was a bit like, do I need to sort of like change my goalkeeper again? I think I mentioned it towards the ends of last week, but now with a 10-point return, he's actually in 1, 2, 3, 4. One of those was a double, actually. So in 4 game weeks, he's got what, 25 points, and you can't grumble at that, to be honest with you, can you? Would have been nicer on the double to get a bit more, but there we go. So at this moment in time, he goes nowhere. Chelsea looking a little bit tighter at the back, I thought. Shaw, brought him in eventually, so yeah, obviously he got the obligatory 2 points. Wasn't expecting much against Manchester City, to be honest with you. I'm looking at this next game week and then the following game weeks as well, as Manchester United look like one of the informed teams alongside Arsenal, don't they? They're looking phenomenal. In fact, I think they are the informed team. Yeah, I've got it written. They've won the last 5 games. I don't know about before that, to be honest with you. Lewis, obviously benched, but then I'm not too worried about that. In fact, I hope he gets benched again, because on my bench I've got Ben White with 8 points ready to come in if he doesn't start in the next game. But if he does come in against Tottenham, then hopefully there's a clean sheet there. They're playing at home. Tottenham looking a bit blunt. Harry Kane, to me, looking like the only player that can actually do anything in terms of like scoring. I'm sure the others will chip in. Richarlison looked bright when he came on, to be fair, didn't he? But you know, still like player. Got to be honest. Into midfield, my differential player, Bruno Fernandes. Very happy to see him doing very well this game week with a 9-point return. And he's looking like he's back to his best. And when I say back to his best, I mean back to the Bruno Fernandes that played before Ronaldo signed for Man United, to be honest with you. Interestingly, Haaland as a striker up to... Manchester City, and it seems a stupid thing to say, are they suffering because of Erling Haaland and the way they're now playing? Those are sort of my thoughts. Everybody's figured out if you stop the supply line to Erling Haaland, then City aren't going to score, because they've almost, I would say they put all their eggs in one basket, because Grealish got a goal, but he's not had many. Foden scores, obviously, but he's not been getting game time. But he was scoring goals. I think he'll be starting next week, although he was hauled in this game. 57 minutes, I think. Rashford, wow, is there a better player to have in your team at this moment in time? 10 points, midfielder, 6 point. How much does he cost now? 7.1. He was 6.5 originally, so he's now 44% owned, and I only see that growing, to be honest with you. Absolutely on fire for Manchester United, and a late winning goal in a Manchester derby is something that, well, if his confidence wasn't already sky high, which I think it was, it is now, isn't it? You know, you get a goal like that, and it, well, that sort of goal stays with you for your career, for the rest of your life. You don't forget, a late winning goal in a Manchester derby, do you? And then Martinelli and Almiron, who have done really well for me. Overall, I've done really well this season. Blanking, unfortunately. I mean, I can't grumble at Martinelli. He had an 8-point, a 10-point, and then he's blanked twice. Fully expecting to see him back on the score sheet soon. Wasn't looking like he's going to be rested or anything like that, taken out of the team. And the Mudryk signing for Chelsea is... I was a little bit concerned about that, what had happened with Martinelli, but he's gone to Chelsea now, so I'm not. Almiron's probably my biggest concern moving forward. Chelsea, Newcastle fixtures are going to turn slightly after game week 23. Crystal Palace away, then West Ham at home, Bournemouth away. So he's not one for selling at this moment in time, but he's sort of on the radar for selling, because I think he got a return game week 17, looking like they slotted it into the net, but then 3 blanks in a row. And there's a lot of performing midfielders out there. So if there's anybody sort of on the chopping block, it's Almiron at this moment in time. Kev De Bruyne, albeit he did get an assist so far, but another game to play up against Tottenham. Erling Haaland up top, 6 points. Obviously, it's just 2 points. He's on my triple captain. And then 2 points for Harry Kane, who I brought in. And I brought in Lewis, Shaw and Harry Kane. And I used them for a hit. Darwin and Patterson and Cancelo went out. So I'm currently -1 on my transfers, because Cancelo got a point, didn't he? We'll see how it goes. Obviously, I've got these all to play in a double now as well, so hopefully that works out as something, a good decision, basically. But I think it's a good decision in the long term anyway. The only other striker, to be honest, I'd be considering right now would be Tony, who I was talking about last week. So that's how my week's gone. My bench, I've got 15 points on my bench, which is good news. You know, once White comes in, he'll be like a main starter for me, with alongside Shaw and Trippier, unless there's any absolutely like crazy sort of like fixtures. But Trippier's proven himself to be sort of indispensable. Doesn't matter who he's playing. Shaw looking pretty good as well. Man United on top form. And Ben White, they were playing Tottenham in a North London derby at Tottenham and still managed to get 8 points, 2 bonus points. Really happy with him as my defensive signing. Shame he's on the bench, but he'll come good, I'm sure. So yeah, that is my game week so far. Don't forget, we do have Wednesday, Thursday to go. However, I am and I'll just sort of like divert slightly. I am now looking to do 3 streams a week. Basically, in short, this one, a review of the week. A second one in the middle, which will just be like a transfer show, my team, sorry, a team selection show. Maybe I'll do some transfers. We'll have a little bit of a chat, do a bit of player comparison, etc., etc. And then I'll do a final preview stream, which I want to do on the day of deadline, but not a deadline stream. I don't like the deadline stream, to be honest with you. I find it start to get a bit panicky and make some bad decisions. So if it's on a Saturday morning, 11:30 cut-off or 11 o'clock cut-off, I'll do a breakfast stream, sort of 8, 9 o'clock, way before it. And if it's a Friday night kickoff, then I'll do a Friday afternoon stream following the press conferences at sort of 1:30. And that's the plan, 3 streams a week moving forward. So yeah, a couple of you just joined, so thanks very much. Do say hello if you're league members. What's next list? So we've done team performance. Let's have a look at the league, shall we? See where everybody's up to. So I do use Premier Fantasy Tools. You can see who the manager of the week so far is. Biswanath with 73 points. Well done, mate. Great start to your game week there. Fair play. Sam McKenna climbing the league, 6 places. Well done. Best transfers this week, Matty Lafort, 10 net points. Great stuff. Paul Oliver, shame, minus 12 points. I wonder who you took out there, buddy. Best team value, though, at Dreezy, 104. Look at this son of a Mitrovic. Quite a new member to Ali. 715 transfers. Is that right? Wow, if it is. I think you're above me in the league as well, so that says something. Surely not. That can't be right. Don't know if you're watching Mark. Mark runs this website, let me know. And then best all-time rank is currently Al Swiffen. Very good friend of mine who I've played against for years. So he is currently our leading all-time rank. It was Harry Travo a couple of weeks ago. So that's a very close sort of battle. Both played for years. Al is actually my nemesis every year. Every year I've played him, he's beat me. There we go. Even my best year, he upped his game. So yeah, he is my nemesis. Are you watching, Al? Say hello if you are. Most captained this week then was Erling Haaland, 36 of the 43 teams. So not everybody. Most owned in the league is Trippier, but it's also Haaland. He's in like 42 out of the 43 teams in our league as well. Biggest transfer in was Harry Kane. Most transferred out, Darwin of Liverpool. So yeah, that is the highlights. Let me just get down. As we can see, active chips this week. Our league leader playing this triple captain, Mark Williams with mashed potatoes. Alexander Yesman, that's you, isn't it, Monkey? Using your triple captain as well, up in 6th. I think it is, son of a Mitrovic. It technically can't have done 715 transfers. I'm not having that. No way. But yeah, there's a few on triple captain. Not as many as I thought there might be. I was hoping, I did think there wouldn't be loads of people, and I was hoping for a bit of a differential in that sort of state. Player ownership, as we can see, most owned players, Haaland, Trippier, Rashford. Now in most teams, I'm expecting that to increase massively. Martinelli, Rashford in more teams than Martinelli now. De Bruyne, that ownership increasing for this game week as well. A lot of people, more people owning Ward. Most in their, I think as their second goalie for most people. And then Andreas, who's creating more chances. I think he's the 4th most biggest chance creator in the Premier League. So still a massive argument to have him in your team as a starting player. I think we get caught sometimes in that, you know, he's not expensive enough, so maybe I shouldn't have him. I know I do. I know, for example, a lot of people will have transferred Salah out this week and gone, I'll get Kev De Bruyne. However, I am thinking of transferring De Bruyne out. Let's see how it goes in this second half of the game week. but I am considering. I'm considering for Odegaard. I'll be honest. I'll be straight up. I've been talking about Odegaard for a while. He's on my watch list. Almiron's only in half the teams now, and then Mitrovic. I'm expecting that to go down. What do people think about Mitrovic? Is he a hold on to? Is he a sell now? Let's start a poll on it. I like a little poll. What should we do with Mitro? Hold. Sell. That's the community. So yeah, if you're on, give a little cheeky vote to that. Mr. Monkey, I hope I can use Ake as a long-term player. I hope so for you, mate. You're keeping Mitro. Do you think he's still on penalties? What do you think? She's missed 3 out of the last 6. I know their league position's not precarious. They're not looking at, you know, being relegated, or they're doing pretty well. But once you're in the European position, you want to fight for Europe, don't you? Simple as that. And fair play to Marco Silva. We booted him out, and now he's doing well. Seems to be the case for Everton. Bueno, 3.9 in 10 out of almost 25% of teams now. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's move down. Let's see what the template actually looks like. Mini league template then. Oh, so captain selections, as we see. Most people on Haaland, 36. 5 on Rashford. Well done, Rashford captainers. Although the game week isn't over yet, I'd still have to stress that. 1 for De Bruyne and 1 for Salah. Someone's still keeping the faith with Mo Salah, going for that differential. Absolutely gutted, must be. Let's have a look at the mini league template then. So this is based on ownership. So goalkeepers, Ward and Kepa are the most owned in our league. Trippier, Shaw, Cancelo, White, Patterson. That's obviously, I'm assuming, going to decrease even more as the week goes on. Patterson obviously out injured for 5 to 6 weeks now. And I think Bueno is going to start being this 5th defender for people. And are people hanging on to Cancelo? Are they really hanging on to Cancelo? He's not guaranteed. For me, it's not that he's not capable. He's just not guaranteed a starting place anymore. And when you're spending that amount of money on a defender, you know, he's your big one. He's starting. You want him starting every single week, don't you? Hence why I've gone to Lewis, and he's going to be my bench fodder, particularly as Man City do keep leaking as well. Midfielders, Rashford, most owned in our league now. Martinelli, De Bruyne, Andreas, Almiron. Mount, that surprises me, I suppose, because of the double game weeks. And then Salah is the 7th most owned midfielder. Haaland, Mitrovic and Kane tie in there. And then Tony, Martial. I think people are worried about Tony because of this betting, do we call it a scandal, possibility. Let me sit in the middle a bit more. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? So I think people are a little concerned about that, myself included. The differentials, less than 10% overall ownership for our league. There's a lot of us have jumped on Kepa, so like I said, 25 points since the restart in game week 17. So happy with that, particularly this game week. And I only see him getting better. Chelsea getting better. Yeah, Bueno, he's had 2 back-to-back clean sheets as well. So a couple of good ones in there. Right, what's next? So looked at my team, looked at the Who Really Lovesit League. Did we look at the league standings? We didn't actually look at the league standings, did we? We'll go to the leagues. My computer's definitely slowed down somewhat for some reason. I can only apologise, and I'll try to fix it again. I've been defragging it and everything today. Right, Who Really Loves It League? So mashed potatoes at the top, Mark Williams. Who did he triple captain? Haaland. So our league leader captain in triple captain in Haaland as well. Our top scorer so far, I had it on 67. Maybe on the screen it doesn't take into account Yeah, Biswan, has he done a -8? Transfer 0. Oh, that's interesting. It's at 73. So 67 points. He's triple captain Rashford. So massive well done to you there, mate, for that. Not listening to the noise, I suppose, that's surrounding Haaland. And yet, so far, the game week's not over. So far, you're smashing it, mate. You're smashing it. Now, good news. We have a prize for the winner of the Who Really Loves It League. Are you ready? Oh, you ready? Look at that bad boy. I love FPL mug. Yes, I bought 2 because I do love FPL. It's my logo. It's my profile pic. But yeah, this worldwide, anywhere in the world, whoever wins the league this season gets this bad boy. And yeah, that is a boss mug in it. I promise not to drink out of it. It's going to live here just underneath there. I've bought one for myself. So yes, we finally have a prize. Let's have a look. I think if Mitro still wants to take pens, he is going to be their penalty taker. Okay. Fair dues, mate. We shall see. We shall see. Drum roll. Do you like it? You know you want it, mate. You know you want it. I love it, mate. Maybe we'll add to it as the season goes on. You know, maybe we'll add to it as the season goes on. Right, let's have a quick look. So yeah, that's the league. It's obviously not finished as yet. We will have a full proper team of the week where we look at the players in a little bit more depth once the game week's over. I just didn't want to leave this stream as late. Right, let's go and have a look and see. Let's go through the games over the weekend. So let's go backwards, shall we? Because yeah, I've got Spurs and Arsenal as my team that are written down. So goals scored. So for me, players that are looking good, and if you're an Arsenal fan, then please do put your comments under here. But for me, if I was looking at Arsenal players right now, bear in mind I own Martinelli and Ben White already. Ramsdale's looking pretty solid. I think that's good news for the defenders of Arsenal. You know, a few saves, weren't worldies to be fair. One or two really good saves, but he looked determined to keep that clean sheet, didn't he? So happy days for defenders for Arsenal, and maybe Ramsdale ain't such a bad pick after all. Although he was just picking up clean sheets early in the season, but there hasn't been many of them. Odegaard is the one for me. Absolutely. Let's have a look and see. Should we bring up some of his stats? Tools, Opta. I've not looked at these, to be honest with you. Can we just put in Arsenal? And as we ask the season, right, let's have a look at these numbers here then. So, since game week, let's go 17. Since the restart, top of the list for Arsenal, points in midfield, Odegaard, 35 points. He's looked phenomenal, to be fair. Shots from everywhere. You know, he's playing in that number 10 role, and I think we all overlooked him a little bit. If you see, you know, Saka with his 24 points, Martinelli with 23, Xhaka with 12, all performing really well, but Odegaard actually smashing it. And put it this way, I'm at the point now where I was thinking of taking Bruno Fernandes out, but he's looking like he's really settling in now for Odegaard this game week, particularly if Arsenal have got a double coming up shortly. But right now, Bruno Fernandes is not going from my team, and I'm seriously considering Kevin De Bruyne to Odegaard because he's getting opportunities. He's shooting a lot more. Let's have a look at the expected assists in those games. 2.15. Does he top that? Yeah, he tops the expected assists for Arsenal. Bear in mind, these are the team top of the league. Expected goals. Martinelli, but Saka and then Odegaard just behind, to be fair. But I suppose a lot of his shots are coming from outside of the box. But if you look, shots on target, he's have the same as Saka. His expected goals are probably going to be less because he is shooting from distance. And the same as Martinelli. Odegaard's had 12 shots. So he's shooting more than Saka, to be honest with you. I just think he's an absolute shoo-in. If you're looking for a midfielder this week, you know, he is the one to go for me. Him and Rashford, if you haven't got either of them as yet. So yeah, that's some really interesting stuff from Arsenal. Spurs, straight to the point. Lloris is looking terrible. So that rules out all of their defence. Midfield doesn't look like it's creating very much. Harry Kane is pretty much the only one you're going to be investing in. The rest of them aren't guaranteed a start. And that's it for Spurs, really, for me. Moving down, we'll go back and have a look. So I've got Newcastle and Fulham game. Newcastle, Almiron was subbed on the 85th minute, and it was best because the game was in the bag. They needed a goal, so interesting that Eddie Howe's taking him off. Let's change this to Newcastle. There is a plethora of options available right now for midfield. Joe Linton's doing the best in midfield for Newcastle at this moment in time on 21 points. Almiron close behind in second. But that goal looked hard to come by in the last game. I think the crowd were a bit quieter. Probably a bit of nerves after the midweek result in the cup. So I'm not as convinced with the Newcastle assets moving forward. It's all a bit. Alexander Isak has come back in. What does that mean for Wilson? They're going to start playing slightly different. I think Isak's going to be a starter. What's he had? 3 and 4 starts for them. So he's obviously very highly rated. I think he'll start the next game. I think there could be some changes afoot there. So time to watch this space. If I had enough money to go Almiron to Odegaard this week, I think it'd be a straight swap, but I haven't. So who do they play? Fulham. We've just discussed Mitrovic. He's on the vote now. Let's have a look at the poll. 2 votes, hold or sell. There's only been 2 votes on it, so if you are just joining, do have a look. But everybody's saying hold at this moment in time. The only other one for me is Pereira. We know about Pereira, don't we? Just will he get penalties? That would be massive if he does. That's why I've written him down here. But he's involved in everything. He'll be priced more next season. I'm convinced of it. Onto the Chelsea Palace game. What have I written here? They're looking more solid, yeah, and more forward passes. They brought Conor Gallagher in, so he was like making runs forward. I like the look of this Chukwuemeka, or whatever you say his name, Chukwuemeka. I'm not quite sure. On loan for them, he's looking pretty good. But I think it's still a sit and wait for the attacking assets. We don't know how they're going to be lining up. Obviously, João Felix is currently suspended. Mudryk has just signed. But I don't think it's the worst if... I think their defence, I think Graham Potter possibly, hopefully, because I've got their goalkeeper, hopefully is starting to instill some of that defensive nous that he had at Brighton, because they were always a difficult team to score against there when he was the manager there. Palace, basically, I've just got written here, avoid. Yeah, do not touch Palace players at this moment in time. I think they've won 3 out of the last sort of 4 or 5 games, so not looking the best either. By the way, this website we're using Fantasy. Click the link below and go and subscribe to them. I don't get any commission or anything like that. I just use it and pay for it myself because I really like it. And yeah, Brighton. Now I think we really need to talk about Brighton. Let's bring up some of their stats here. Let's put them all in. Let's put them all in. Let's just type in Brighton, because they are a team reborn under De Zerbi, disciple of what's his name? Pep Guardiola. Look at this. Let's go points wise. Mitoma, 44 points. Where are we from here? Game week 17. He's another one. Yeah, it's a hard, massive trap right now. Always is. He always is, mate. But look at this. Solly March on 44 points. Has just been phenomenal. Had a great game week. He's been looking good moving forward, and now he's been, he's targeted himself with 10 goals. De Zerbi's targeted him with that and told him that, and you can see he's playing with. He's in the form of his career, isn't he? Will it continue? There is a possibility for blank game weeks for Brighton coming up at some point soon. I think game week 25. But then in the last sort of 10 game weeks, let me show you the tweet I was looking at from Ben Krellin before. In the last sort of 10 game weeks, it's looking like they could be getting some more doubles. Well, 3 double game weeks, to be honest with you. Let's have a look at Ben Krellin. You can follow him here at Ben Krellin. So he's getting a player. So here, if getting a Brighton and Hove Albion player would only slightly improve your game week 21, advise saving your free transfer. The game week 25 blanks are confirmed in game week 22. So we still have to wait for that confirmation. We'll also get more info on the blank game week 28 and a double game weeker announcement. At least more info on what double game weeks are possible and likely. And it says here, Brighton are currently the favourites to get the most double game weeks in the final 10 game weeks. So this is maybe when we go and attack them. They've got 2 blanks to reschedule, and they're more than likely than any other club to get 3 more postponements in game weeks 25, 28 and 32. Okay, so because they aren't in Europe, the games will be able to move. So I think we wait on Brighton players at this moment in time, but Matoma's looked brilliant. 23 points since the restart as well. Great bargain, if you're unsure on Almiron, he's in that sort of bracket, isn't he? Although Almiron's 5.9 now. Maybe these are the players to go for. If you want to upgrade Greenwood to Ferguson, if you've got 0.3 million, something I'm seriously considering getting him in. A much better option. He's key to the way they're playing. Danny Welbeck did come on for him, but it was Ferguson that started. And to be honest with you, Danny Welbeck, even if he does start starting, he'll be out injured again pretty shortly. And I think as a first player to come on, Evan Ferguson, he's looking good, isn't he? He's looking good. Sanchez has done well in goal, so they're not conceding even. They are a team in form. Moving down, obviously McAllister's back as well. Now, they played against Liverpool FC, who I've got written down here at this moment in time. Their players are overpriced, in really poor form, and avoid. They do have a possible double game week coming shortly. I'll just go back onto Ben here. Where's that? If we look at the latest one he's put up here, they have a possible double game week in game week 21, but it's only possible, not likely, if you look at the key at the top here. So that's possible coming up. But who would you bring in? Gakpo maybe, 8 million? Not so sure. There's definitely better options out there now at this moment in time. They are an avoid until they get it back together, which I'm sure they will at some point. I'm sure they will. So yeah, thanks for all your hard work, Ben, if you happen to be watching my video. Let's carry on. Which team am I looking at now? Next team, staying on Merseyside, Everton FC, my Blue Boys. Avoid. Just, yeah, simple as that. The only player that's sort of stood out for anything in this game week was Onana. He was superb. He did boss the first half, and he was the only player that really, come the second half, put in an absolute shift, to be honest with you. Managed to get his first goal as well, but he's not an FPL player at this moment in time. He's just not. There's just better options out there, I'm afraid to say. I wish there wasn't. First time ever, I've never owned an Everton player, I think. I'm not even looking to bring one in, even with Calvert-Lewin back. It's just not on my radar. We're a club. Honestly, I've been watching Toffee TV today, and we're just, it feels like the club is dying in front of my eyes. It's really sad. Doing really well, to be honest, tonight, actually, as a result. But on it we shall be. Southampton, obviously, I got to see how they're playing. They're a pretty poor team as well, to be honest with you. But Ward-Prowse is playing in a number 10 role. So without doubt, I think he's someone to consider. Certainly as Southampton's fixtures, when they improve. Can we see from here? I don't think we can, no. But yeah, Ward-Prowse, 2 goals, an assist. All 3 bonus points, of course. 51 on there. Remember Gordon? Yeah, I do remember Gordon, mate. Yeah, got chased out the ground by all means by a couple of knobhead fans of my club. Had to drive off, speeding in his car, so bit of a bizarre one. But I do remember Gordon. 60 million. I said at the time we should bite their hand off. Anyway, that was then. This is now. But yeah, Ward-Prowse is definitely one to keep an eye on. Once they bring him in this game week, you know, he's just had a massive hole, but he's playing in a role that he's not played before and looking very confident. Man City, they keep conceding, and I think as Pep Guardiola, is he a bit of a tinker man? Bit guilty of the Ranieris of Chelsea back in the day. A lot of tinkering going on, a lot of change of formation. I think he was trying to do something different and trying to find a way to break down teams. And I just think it's upset the balance in the team. Along with Erling Haaland as the main man, isn't he? And sometimes when you've got a main man as a striker up front, I've said it before, when Gary Lineker scored 40 goals for Everton, they finished second in the league. It's because everything just went through that one player. Howard Kendall sold him, and then they won the league the season after because it had become a team effort once more. People at his teammates start to think they're not needed to score goals, they just need to supply. But if the supply doesn't get to him, the supply doesn't get to him, he's got no chance. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I would wait for Southampton, but he's definitely a watch list player, James Ward-Prowse. Yeah. The other thing is there's been a lot fewer attempts at goal from Manchester City. Let's bring them up. Let's have a look at some of their stats, see what they've been doing. Not sure if to type in Man City. Does that work? Yes. So highest point scorer, Haaland on 23. This is since game week 17. That's it. Mahrez on 22, who's done really well. Grealish on 21, but then there's a real drop off. And this is the whole team here. Real drop off. Expected assists. Not looking. 2.51 for De Bruyne, obviously still, but he's only had 1 assist out of that. Mahrez has had 2, Grealish has had 3. I just don't think they look the same team at this moment in time, and I'm sure you all agree with me. So for me at this moment in time, unless you've got De Bruyne, unless you've got Haaland, they're still home. We've still got this rest of this game week to go, of course, but we shall review that Friday morning. Is it Thursday night they play? Tuesday, Wednesday? I think it is Thursday night they play, isn't it? Or maybe we'll review it after the game week. So yeah, Thursday night. I tell you what, we'll do that Thursday night. We'll do a live stream straight after it and do team selection based on that with transfer plans. Right, where are we up to? I've got Man United. Rashford's on fire. Bruno's back to his old self, and Luke Shaw, interestingly, I know he's in a lot of team mine included, playing at centre back, so he's a guaranteed starter in that defence at this moment in time. Wan-Bissaka's playing again. Dalot was out injured, so he's had a solid game. So I don't know whose that right back position is right now. Is he just filling in, or is he there to take over? Just need to have a sip of my water, excuse me. So Luke Shaw is the defender to go for. And I think we should be going for they're the informed team, like I say. Won 5 games out their last 6 at Man United. Forest, Nottingham Forest, they're starting to gel, aren't they? They're starting to gel. A couple of nice goals from Brennan Johnson. Gibbs White looking like the player we sort of like expecting, and a team to keep an eye on. I wouldn't say we'll go piling in on them. Absolutely not, but they've got something about them now, and I fully expect them to stay in the league, because trust me, I'm looking at it. There's 3 worst teams in the league at this moment in time. One of those is Leicester. Absolute free fall. The only team they've done well against since the restart is the mighty Everton. You've got enough money to replace Almiron with Odegaard, mate. I'd do it personally. For me, he is my number 1 target at this moment in time. We're talking about it for sometimes though, when I talk about these players, then they stop to perform after I've finished up by the time I've finally got on them. But I think Odegaard's one of those. He's the captain. He's going to play every single game. Arteta isn't a rotator of players like Pep Guardiola. He's got his starting 11. The odd one here and there, but generally not. Monkey, who do you think will go down? Oh God, mate. Put me on the spot there, aren't you? You want to see what I say about these boys? But as it stands right now, if the Everton board aren't replaced and Frank Lampard's not replaced, I fully expect us to go down. We've just had our run of good fixtures. Yeah, we've just had our run of good fixtures. So as it stands, even though we're half the season to go, if you look at our next fixture, we've got City. No, we've just had City. We've got Arsenal away coming up. We've got Liverpool. Is it Arsenal? I can't remember now. Can't think. But I can see Leicester going down. To be honest with you, they look absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. And I don't think West Ham will. I think David Moyes could end up getting the sack very soon. And Bournemouth are going, I think. So yeah, if I had to say right now, honestly, I think it's going to be Bournemouth. God, am I really going to say Everton? Bournemouth, Leicester, Everton, maybe? No. Hopefully we get things sorted. But I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Wolves got another clean sheet, and I think if you haven't got Bueno in as your bench option at 3.9 million, if he's still 3.9s, then he is a fantastic option. 2 clean sheets back to back, and you're not going to be starting him, are you? So he's a great one to come in. It's annoying seeing them points on the bench, but you'd rather have somebody on your bench that is able to get points, wouldn't you? Let's be honest. That's the way I'm looking at it. Brentford, Tony's winning penalties. Just grab your arm and pull you over and win a penalty. Shocking decision, that, wasn't it? Shocking decision. Anyway, but he's scoring again, and they've got another clean sheet, so they will have a blank coming up at some point soon because of the Carabao Cup, possibly. So yeah, maybe not the team to invest in, but I've still not heard any news on Tony and this gambling malarkey either. Again, Bournemouth, all I've got is just a void. There's nothing of interest at Bournemouth for any of us. Tell me if I'm wrong. I do apologise, Bournemouth fans, but I've said the same about Everton. Aston Villa, the Friday night game. Can you remember that far back? That's the problem sometimes. We have a few games. It's almost hard to remember, but Aston Villa are a team on the up. Unai Emery has come in, steadied the ship. He's got them playing like good football. They seem to be organised, know what they're doing. I saw a tweet where he's taken a picture of himself at Villa Park at the Holt End in the distance at midnight. That sort of thing's only going to endear themselves to the fans, talking about them as a family, and he's looking to create that, you know, that bond, fans and team and manager all together. So I don't think Villa are the worst team to be looking at, particularly for me. A couple of players. Bailey looked absolutely on fire. He's like taking shots from all over the place. And and scored as well. Had an assist. Did he have an assist? The one disallowed, an assist disallowed, something like that, from a shot that came back or was saved. But yeah, he had 3 like cracking shots in that game, and one of them ended up in the net. The other player that's been doing well for them is Buendia. Let's have a look at Villa. We're talking about them being on the up. Let's see what they're doing as a team. Which players are standing out. Certainly points wise, their main delivery. There you go, Buendia, Douglas Luiz, Bailey. Big Nose Monkey saying Aston Villa defence should be looked at. I think I'm going to agree with you. Moreno's just signed at left back though, hasn't he? So just avoid Luca Dean if you can. It's been a bit of a troll to a few people along the years, and possibly is trying to do that again. But who's defence here? Can we see? Saves. Maybe if I extend it slightly, I'm sure it says their position. Let's have a look. Oh, it's next to the name, isn't it? Ooh. So Mings is the top scoring defender at this minute in time. Let's bring up the fixture. Should we be targeting? Is it time to target Aston Villa? Am I sitting waiting? I think I've just got my mind set on Odegaard, to be honest with you. He's the one I want. Let's have a look at fixture difficulty next couple of weeks. Is this week still in there? Game week 21. Okay. So next 6 game weeks. Offence, yes. So Arsenal have got the best attacking fixtures. Hi Fabio, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So Arsenal got the best. Man City. So might be a bit early to be jumping off Kev De Bruyne. Like I say, he's the one I'm currently considering for Odegaard. I don't think it's a bad swap though, to be honest with you. Frees up funds that I don't know who for though. Brighton got some good fixtures. They could have a blank here though in game week 25. Lots of players to be considering from them. Brentford, Leeds and Southampton. Maybe it is time for Tony. Maybe it is time for Tony. Tottenham. What about in defence? Who's got the best defensive fixtures? Arsenal, City, Newcastle, United, Chelsea. These are the players you want to be making up your defence and goalkeeper, I would say. Certainly for the next 6 game weeks anyway. A couple of doubles here for 23. And that just leaves me with one team left. Not Villa up there though, is there? Where was Villa? That's what we came for. Offence. Where did Villa come in the fixtures? So they've got Southampton. The thing is with Villa, they've got City and Arsenal coming up. There we go. In 23 and 24. So maybe not now, but maybe once they take on the mighty Everton, maybe that's the time to jump on some Villa defence. Where do they go after that? 10 game weeks. Crystal Palace, West Ham, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe that's the time. Bournemouth, Chelsea, Forest. So yeah, maybe that is the week we look game week 25, where we bring in a Villa defender and gives a little bit more time to keep an eye on him. How did you all do for game week 20, mate? I've just got one more team to go through. And that is Leeds, and then that's 20 Premier League teams discussed. And Leeds, for me, they're still not looking great, still poor, but there is a little gem there, isn't there? In Nonto, the Italian is exciting. He's probably their biggest creative player at this moment in time. Tell you what, I'd love him at Everton. I really would, and I think they sort of not got him by mistake, but he wasn't really on their radar. But he looks like he could be taking the Premier League by storm. Really looking to suit him. So he's if you want a differential punt, Leeds fixtures next 10 game weeks, they're up there. go back to the next 6 game weeks. I don't like 10. 10's too many, isn't it? So yeah, Leeds are 6, Brentford, Forest, Man United, Everton, Southampton, Chelsea. Not the worst fixtures. So if you are after a cheeky punt, maybe here. What is your team? Right. Thanks for asking, Fabio. I've shared it briefly at the beginning, so I will not go through it massively, but currently on 58 points. Livesey Lovesit FC is my team. Game week rank of 915k. Not had the best start to my season, don't leave me right here, but I have climbed from, I think I was 4.8 million at game week 17. Let's have a look. Oh, went pretty bad. Game week 17. Yeah. Is that 16? So I came back from the start at 4.7 million. And I'm now currently at 3.8 million. So my team is on the up. As you can see, green arrows apart from game week 19, where it wasn't a massive drop. As you can see, my team value's dropping. It's because I'm not caring about it right now. Don't care. My transfers are being left till the last minute at this moment in time because I feel like I've got a bit of team value. I feel there's lots of great players that you can have which don't cost the earth. So yeah, that's where I'm up to, mate. That's where I'm up to. Took a -4 last week. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players to play this game week. So long way to go. Long way to go. Fingers crossed Lewis doesn't play any part of that game and Ben White comes in for me. Or if he does come in, he gets 9 points or more. Yeah, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be lovely. What do you think Pep's going to do? Anyone want to comment? What will Pep do in this next game week, in this next game against Spurs? Is he going to play similar formation to what he played at the weekend with 4 at the back? Or is he going to try this 3 at the back again? With 2, like the double pivot in front. Lewis is one of them. What do people think? And even if you're not watching now, afterwards, leave your comments below. It becomes a discussion area. Monkey, what's the stream been like in terms of quality? Because we had a bit of things like where it was stuttering a bit at the beginning. Has it improved, mate? Well done, mate. If you've captained him, Fabio, happy days, mate. Happy days. Did you triple captain him? You should have triple captain. Yeah, you should have. Well, one of our players, team of the week, did 30 points at this moment in time. There will be more later. There will be more. I'm sure of it. Right, let me just go to my list then. What else have I got left to go through? So, I've gone through every single Premier League match. Review my team performance. Looked at league standings. Team of the week we've discussed. Obviously, we don't have a full team of the week as yet. And then question and answers. If anybody's got any questions, fire them into the boxes now. If anybody wants me to do any analysis or anything like that, or just an opinion, I don't tell you anybody what to do. If anybody's new watching this, and in the meantime, I shall go to my watch list. Let me just minimize this. And bring up the watch list, which I haven't actually updated for a couple of weeks. Last week felt like a bit of a rush, hence why I'm doing this stream now. Because I left it until after the game week and then I had to do it all last minute on deadline and it all felt rushed. So I've got quite a lot to change on here, to be honest with you, because Alisson is not a goalkeeper I'm watching, but I tell you who is, and that is Pope. Mid-price, I'm not watching Pickford, but Sanchez at Brighton is an option, I think, again now. Budget, I'm not watching Danny Ward. I'm just not watching him. So there is no budget one that I'm watching. No £4 million. Not interested, to be honest with you. What's the? Tell you who's the backup keeper at Spurs? Because I tell you what, he might be getting a game soon. But yeah, those are my 2 thoughts at this moment in time. Premium, I suppose the other one we could on the list. I'm just actually thinking off the top of my head now. Tell me what you think. Martinez at Villa. We've just been talking about their defence moving forward from game week 25. Let's keep an eye on him. I'm not interested in Liverpool defence whatsoever, and I don't actually in any premium defenders. I've got Shaw in my team now. I brought in Dalot, I brought in White, so I'm not actually watching any defenders at this time. I've got Trippier. I must have somebody on the watch list to keep an eye on, surely. No, I can't. Oh, tell you what, who? Solly March, is he down as a defender or is he down as a... Solly March? Is he a defender or is he field transfers? Or is he classed as a midfielder? Tell you what, if he's a defender, he's down as a mid. 5.1. 5.1. He'd have been a good defender to have, wouldn't he, if he was down as a defender? Yeah, there's a lack of defenders to choose from, really, isn't there? City don't seem to settle on anybody. Liverpool are terrible. Luke Shaw I've got. Trippier I've got. I've got an Arsenal defender. So yeah, there's no... I can't even think of who I might want to bring in defence, to be honest with you. Probably because I've just done 2 transfers. I'm quite happy. I suppose these are the ones, aren't they? Shaw took a free kick at the weekend for Newcastle. Botman in a lot of teams. That's a possibility. I just got a feeling, I don't know what it is, I got a bit of a feeling Newcastle are about to hit a little bit of, they've got some good fixtures. We're just going to hit a little bit of a bumpy spell. I might be completely wrong. See you, Fabio. Thanks for joining, mate. Do join the league. Links in the description below. Maybe you'll be team of the week next week, mate. Nice one. Yeah. Maybe he should be on my radar. Let's put him on the list, shall we? Let's put him on the list, Shah. Sorry, when I go to the Google, I forget you can't see what I was just scrolling through there. Do apologise. So yeah, mid-priced Shah. S-C-H-A-R. Now, midfielders, I'm not looking at any of those. I'm not actually looking at any premium midfielders whatsoever at this moment in time. And no Saka, no Kulusevski, because there's my #1 target. Highlighted in yellow because he was when I brought him onto my watch list 2 game weeks ago. I suppose we can take the highlight off now. Don't need that. But he's #1. Let's have a think who else we've got. So, Solly March. I think he comes into the budget. Xhaka's coming off the list a little bit, to be honest with you, just because of Odegaard. And I think there's some other great options. Mitoma. Who else have I discussed this evening? Let's go back to my list. Odegaard, Harry Kane, Fulham. Pereira's still on there. Let's take the highlight off there. How's it going? Highlight it. There we go. Right. Matoma. Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse. I think he starts to become into the mid-range, does he? Definitely on the watch list after his change in role. Rashford I've already got. Forest. Maybe a long watch, but Gibbs White is looking like he could become a bit of a, well, he is a bit of a player, but he's starting to perform like one. So I'm going to put Gibbs White's. Any doubles for game week 21? Hi mate, I hope all is well. I don't know, what do you mean announced? Forget KDB and Salah. Agreed, mate. Time to look at these cheap gems. Well, I've got nothing, as you can see, mate. I'm updating my watch list right now, and I've taken all the premiums out. And it is KDB. I've been saying earlier in the stream, KDB to Odegaard is where I'm sort of at this moment in time. Gonna wait until Thursday, see how it goes, but that's a very high possibility, particularly if Arsenal do get the double in 21, mate. But yeah, I've got Pereira, March, Matoma. Just have a look at my list here. Oh, Leon Bailey. And then I've got Sharmanches, Buendia. Let's put March up here. Buendia's looking good as well. But again, I don't think the Aston Villa players till game week 25. DIA. There we go. Mid-priced. I'm taking Wilson off my list at this moment in time, simply because I'm not going to show what's going to happen with Alexander Isak. Howe was very complimentary to him. Very complimentary indeed. Excuse me, I'll have a drink of water. Let's end this poll right now. Mitrovic, should we hold or sell? If anybody wants to run a poll on anything, then please do let me know, by the way. It is question and answer time. Is Perraud? No, he's Southampton, is he? I'm not looking at Southampton at all. Willian could be added there. Let's have a look, mate. Let's have a look and see how he's been performing. Because for me, if I'm going full of midfield, I'm going Pereira, to be honest, mate. Let's have a look. Let's go Fulham. Oh, you haven't got it right. Let me take this list off a second. Sorry, let's bring the screen back. Show you what I'm doing. There we go. Let's make it a bit bigger. Yes, this is how we roll. That's it. So Fulham. So Tim Ream has been smashing it. Willian, yeah, fair play, mate. 26 points since game week 17. Yeah. Fair play. Expected assists. Who tops the list? Mitrovic. Then Andreas Pereira. Then Willian. Willian's a full £0.9 million more than Andreas. Did you see? Oh, you can't see the results of the poll, by the way. What we should do with Mitro, I don't think you can anyway. Basically, it's a 50-50, but it is only 4 votes. For me, oh yeah, look at that, Willian. Tete. What are Fulham's fixtures like? Hey, Tottenham, Chelsea. Not at the moment, mate. Forest, Brighton, Wolves, Brentford. Maybe moving forward. I'm just interested to see what happens with penalties. Just interested at Fulham. I honestly think they'll be taken off him. I know you're a Fulham fan, aren't you, Monkey? And you're saying you don't, but for me, yeah, that's the end of the line for him. It's the end of the line in terms of penalties. Where was I up to? Right. But yeah, maybe Willian should be on the list. He's your top points returner, isn't he? So Tim Ream is captain, 4.5 million. Thing is, I've got two 3.9 million bargains on my bench, and I'm happy with Ben White, Trippier, and Shaw. Very happy. Although it's become a bit template now, hasn't it? But there we go. It's the way it is. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. Right, let's bring my list back up again then. Let's get rid of that one. So, budget to take off. I think for me, I'm removing Mitrovic. I'm going to keep. I'm going to take Nketiah out as well because he's not on penalties, and I think if you've got a striker, you need a striker that's on penalties as well. And I've already signed Harry Kane, so it's a massive change to my watch list here, to be honest with you. So mid-priced Tony, budget for me at this moment in time, it's Ferguson. And then it's wait and see with Chelsea, isn't it? I suppose watch list. I'm not going to be doing anything this week. How much is he, Mudryk? Is he a forward or a midfielder? Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look. Chelsea. He looks like a bit of a player, don't he? This Chuck, I'll just say it. Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka. Yeah, he looks like a player. Been looking like one of Chelsea's best players in the last few games. Henderson in the goalie category. Yes, mate, to be honest with you. Mudryk, £7 million mid. Is it Mudryk? How do you say it? Mudryk? I love murdering a name here. How many midfielders they've got? They just don't have that. Well, they do have a natural number 9 in Aubameyang, don't they? But and Broya obviously got injured. But look at all the midfielders they've got. Heavily overloaded. Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher, Pulisic, Jorginho, Sterling, Mount, Zakaria, Chukwuemeka, Ziyech. Lewis Hall down as a midfielder, but playing in defence is a strange one, isn't it? I'm going to put him on. I'm going to put him on the list. What are their fixtures looking like? I've got a Chelsea player. Let's have a look. So after Liverpool, they've got a really good run of fixtures, haven't they? Fulham, West Ham, Southampton, Tottenham, Leeds, Leicester, Everton. Right, he's going on the list. He's going on the list for game week 22 onwards. Just based on what I've seen of him when I've on the old highlights reel. So Mudryk, we'll say he's mid-price, won't we? But see, there's a plethora of midfields, and I think playing 5 in the midfield and not having one on your bench is probably a good idea. Well, it's what I'm doing, but so yeah, I obviously think it's a good idea just because of the amount of choices you've got in midfield. I mean, God, if you had these last week, you know, I think most of these players are getting could get in a lot of teams, couldn't they? It's the other areas that are more of a struggle. I think Henderson's a good shout, mate. He's done well previously. What are Forest's fixtures like coming up? Bournemouth, Leeds, Fulham. They've got City, West Ham, Everton. Yeah, I think that's a good shout, actually, mate. I think that's a really good shout from Forest, to be fair. Let's put them on the list. I think he's 4.7, isn't he? Anderson, he's a good shout as well, yeah. So that, I think, is the current watch list for me. Also, I am going to keep an eye on Gakpo, but I'm not entirely convinced, to be honest with you. No, I'm not actually. I'm not. No, there's plenty of other players. Right, boys and girls, anybody got any questions? If you have, ask now. If not, that will be the end of the big review. I don't know how long I've been on for. Let's have a look. 1 hour and 15. I am planning to now stream after this. Let's have a look at the deadline. When's the deadline? So the deadline, so Saturday. So the plan for streams this week now, Thursday night, straight after the game. Okay, straight after City Spurs, we'll go live. We'll do the league, how it's up to this week. Well, we'll obviously be able to talk about the 2 games from the previous nights, and then possibly start making our choices about whether we're going to be holding our transfers this week. Start comparing a few more players, and that'll be straight after the game Thursday night, which will involve my team selection moving forward. It'll be my team selection stream. A bit later than it would normally be. I plan to do that. So the plan is moving forward, if you're just new to the streams, is to do this big review as soon after the game week as I possibly can. It would have been last night, but I went out for dinner with for my father-in-law's 84th birthday, and delicious it was too. Really enjoyed it. So that was nice. So hence why I'm doing this tonight. And then I'll do one probably the following day will be my team selection stream. My bus team, what my plans for the week are. I've got a few bits written down, I won't bore you with all of those. And then the preview stream, which will be, if we got an 11 o'clock kickoff, I'm not going to do a deadline stream. There's a lot of competition to get people on board for deadline, because all content creators are streaming at that point in time. I'm going to do if it's a Saturday morning, I'll do it at breakfast. I'll be live at 8 o'clock in the morning, between probably 8, 9, half 9, going through all the press conferences, etc., over breakfast. So that is the plan. There is, if you haven't seen already, here's the new prize. The very first time we've got a prize for winning my league. So if you haven't won the league and you want your own I Love FPL mug, there's only 2 in existence. I've got one. It's in the house. I had to brew it earlier. It makes a goddamn good brew. I promise you that. There. This one lives under here, waiting for one of you boys and girls to win, and worldwide. I'll send that anywhere in the world, no problem whatsoever. So yeah, that's it. Enjoy your week. I'll see you Thursday night, and hopefully by then the board at Everton, the club's been sold, the board have been sacked, and we've got Sam Allardyce in charge. Only joking, don't want Big Sam again. Right, thanks very much for joining me. Take care, see you later.